You can't always remove stress from your life, but you can absolutely change how it affects your body and your mind. After my cancer diagnosis, I started digging into ways to combat stress. And this week, we are going to talk about 7 proven ways to fight stress and take control of your life. Another week, another discovery. Let's dive in. First off, let's talk about walking. Now, movement in general is great for you. Exercise, strenuous activity, running, heavy weightlifting, there's tons of benefits to this. But walking in particular is a special one for stress management. Daily walking is one of the best natural stress relievers out there. And in the case of some studies around depression, they have found that walking is up to 1.5 times more effective than the leading antidepressants at reducing depression. Now, I know depression and stress are a little bit different, but they're a little intertwined. Up to walking 1,000 extra steps a day could lower your stress or your depression by 10%, with the sweet spot typically being around 7,500 to 10,000 steps, with somewhere around 42% less stress or depression overall. It's not about being a crazy person who works out all the time, although there's obviously some benefits to that, but it is about taking time and getting that walk in. For me personally, and I think while it isn't highlighted in some of the studies, but I think it is incredibly important, is one of the major benefits of walking is you are taking time out of your day to not be stressed out about whatever's going on with you right now. You're getting a little bit of exercise, and if you're lucky and it's nice outside, you're able to go outside, take a walk, get the benefits of sunshine. Maybe you're walking in a green spot. That's where you get even bigger benefits, in a nice park or in some woods with some green trees. That has a huge impact on your mood. But here's the key. You get to process what is going through your head. You have a safe space to just work it out. And that is so valuable. So, take a walk. It is 100% worth it. All right, number 2. Change the channel in your head. You can be on a negative frequency and decide, bad things are happening to me, bad things are going on in the world, and they're going to impact me. You can take the scenario in front of you, reframe it from I can't handle this to I can handle this little piece of it, or I can work it through this way. Ultimately, if you focus on the negative, it will cause stress. If you focus on the positive, it gives you some control back and makes stressful things no longer stressful. This is in the head, and it is within your control if you practice it. In addition, gratitude. Gratitude plays such a huge role in reframing the way you look at life's events. You can decide to be grateful for what is going on, or you can decide to be stressed and angry. An example, when I found out my son had cancer, I could have chosen to be stressed and victimized. Instead, I focused on whatever positivity was around me while I could. In my case, I was very lucky, and I am very grateful that I got to go to St. Jude. There, he got his treatment, and I was able to spend the night in his hotel room while he was on treatment. That is something I am incredibly grateful for. And by focusing on that, I could be present and have the best time with him that I could while he was with us. All right. Gratitude is not just positive thinking. It actually impacts the brain. It is neurochemical. It changes your brain. And the more you practice this, the better you get at it. So practice gratitude, practice thinking positively, and it can actually lower the stress you're dealing with. On that note, we'll take it a little bit a step further and take a look at number 3, which is let's decide to have hope and do what we can to improve our situation. So the example I gave with St. Jude, we went across the country. We went and lived with him in St. Jude. But another case is I was also diagnosed with cancer, right? When it rains, it pours. I can decide to just give in, right? Or I can decide not to. Take the action you can. And for me, action is power. Taking the power back is where it is at. And in my case, I went and had surgery. Step 1, that's an obvious win. But I took it a step further because the problem with cancer is it kind of hangs around. It doesn't actually go away when you removed it. But the way to combat that is I am changing my lifestyle. I am doing everything I can to reduce my cancer risk. And by doing that, by taking action, that has reduced the stress of the fact that I had cancer significantly in my own mind. Whatever will happen, will happen. I believe my cancer is gone to forever. But either way, I am not living with the stress of it at the moment anyway. I will deal with it when it shows back up, but it won't because, well, I'm doing all the right things. Ultimately, there's power in control. A big part of stressors is that lack of feeling of control. And so by taking action, you take away some of the power of stress and you can move on. Okay, number 4. Who hasn't been stressed out about money? I don't think anyone raised their hand. Everyone has, right? It doesn't even matter how much money you have, it seems to happen. One time, I had a lot less money, and I used credit cards like most of us. And I remember I could go on a vacation and not enjoy it because I was stressed about the money I was spending that I didn't have yet. If you are stressing about money, the first thing you have to do is start to control your spending and control your life so that you are living within your means. That is step 1. And then, if you're crazy, you decide not to have debt be part of your life and get rid of it and never go back in. That's what I did. And it has been a major stress reducer in my life. Highly recommend to everyone. If you need a program, I would do Dave Ramsey's plan. You can Google him, see what his plan is. It's very simple. Basically, it involves not getting out of debt and staying out of debt and just doing it anyway. But even if you're not going to do that, having control over your finances and having a plan and knowing where your money's going can have a big impact on how stressed you are. And it is something you need to put time and effort into because it's going to be in the back of your head whether you do something or not. All right, I know it sounds corny, but just breathe. Sometimes taking a moment to breathe can really impact your stress. If you're dealing with a stressful situation, take a moment, breathe. I actually like to do it when I'm walking. If I'm dealing with something and I'm taking a walk, I'll just, as I'm walking, and it helps calm me. Now, if you have the time or you really like it, you can do it in meditation or something a little bit more directional. But even just taking a moment, you're sitting at your desk and it's just like, just stop, breathe, maybe smile, and then get back to your life. You know, it makes a difference. Take a breath. Okay. Boundaries are a superpower. So much of stress is because of things that we feel we need to do and we don't have the capacity to get it done. That is like stress, right? A big part of that is by allowing other people to impose what they want us to do on us. By setting appropriate boundaries with the people around you, your work, your spouse, your friends, your family, whatever it is, you can control the limits of what you can actually do and put those limits in a spot that does not stress you out. That is your choice. Take your power and leverage it. It's on you to tell someone they're going too far. And what you will probably find in most cases, they'll respect them. In some cases, they won't in a toxic relationship. But then that's your indication that this really needs a change. Those are those tough scenarios where you really have to work it. Now, boundaries aren't all other people's fault. Sometimes boundaries are your own. Sometimes you might be watching the news all the time. You like it, but it stresses you out because they only say bad stuff. Just stop. Do something else. Read a book. Go for a walk, right? And it won't be there to stress you because you're not letting it in. Maybe you're stressed because you're always comparing yourself to other people and you don't have enough. Maybe that's because you're on social media all the time. Make a boundary. Get off social media. Just do it, right? Identify the stressor. We talked about that last week. What are your stressors? So you can know how to set boundaries to get them out of your life. All right. You're not alone. Try not to be alone. Humanity we're a social species. We thrive with each other. In some cases, this might look like therapy. Depending on the kinds of stressors you're looking at, therapy might be one of the best solutions. But in other times, it's just relationships. Making time to not be alone. Get a community. Just go get off your butt and go talk to someone. There's lots of people who want community out there. They might be a little hard and it might be a little uncomfortable, but go make friends. Go talk to people. Go interact. Go play some pickleball with some random person at the gym. I don't know, right? Get out there and interact with each other. That has a huge impact on your stress. One, you get a chance to have fun. It gives a chance for you to let stuff off your chest and talk about things, which helps you process things and let things go. But humans we have this thing where when we're interacting with others, we lower cortisol and your emotional regulation improves. And it's just something you need to do. If you're alone or at home and you're stressed and you're worried, get out, meet somebody, start interacting with others. Now, this can be dangerous for you mentally if you're that kind of person, because you put yourself out there and it might fail. But keep trying, right? There is someone out there that can improve your life if you build a relationship with them. All right, so that's it. Those are our seven actions. You're kind of going to be able to do them all at once. You don't need to. Pick one that you want to do. I started with walking. I started doing it, a couple years ago, and I said, I'm just a guy who walks. And I started walking, and now I walk. And then I pick up and add other things to it. Identify your stressors, tackle the ones that you have. We're all stressed, and it'll never end, right? It'll never end. We have to build a life where we are always coping so that it does not overwhelm us. All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to watch this. If you liked any of this, drop me a like and give me a comment. Let me know what you use, what tactics you use to reduce your stress. That's it for this week's video. Next week, we're going to jump back in and talk about some superfoods. Don't miss it. See you then.